I am Mohammed Abdul Karim. We are going to present Essential of Fisheries and Aquaculture Techniques. It is a textbook written by us. The reason why we are doing this is because these days people don't read. They don't read at all. So I'm taking this opportunity to present the work, to discuss the work, to have lecture on the textbook, so that some of you will listen and watch. Thank you. Water is scientifically studied as an environment where aquatic fauna and flora thrive through some set of some physical and chemical characteristics, which we normally refer to as physico-chemical parameters. Water supply to catfish ponds is initially of good quality. However, once the water is used for culture, its quality deteriorates. This deterioration of environment condition is traceable to the use of feed, despite the fact that you use high quality feed and careful feeding practices. Relatively little of this nutrients value of feed is converted to catfish flesh. The remaining nutrients derived from fish waste stimulate excessive phytoplankton growth. High rate of phytoplankton metabolism causes pronounced diurnal fluctuation in dissolved oxygen concentration and also carbon dioxide concentration and power of hydrogen. Here, during the daytime, these phytoplanktons are the plant part. They photosynthesize, and the product of this photosynthesis is dissolved oxygen. Dissolved oxygen is formed in the water, and the carbon dioxide is being taken away from the water for photosynthesis. Pond water with low dissolved oxygen (DO) can be improved by aerating with electric aerator or air stone. There are some air stones that are natural. They have many holes, tiny holes all over them. When you place them inside the pond, they aerate the pond, thereby increasing the level of dissolved oxygen in the pond. Low dissolved oxygen, as low as 3 mg per liter, cause fish losses, stress, and it may lead to high mortality in the pond, particularly because of its synergetic effect with other toxins like ammonia. The concentration of this parameter that changes the physical and chemical parameter may affect the biological activity, which include the amount of dissolved oxygen, carbon dioxide, ammonia present in the water, nitrate and nitrite. These biological activities are the most important aspect of water quality and its management in fish pond aquaculture. The physical parameters include light, temperature. Phytoplankton production may lead to provision of dissolved oxygen in the water. But when you have high phytoplankton bloom in the water, there will be a problem. Phytoplankton is an organism, it respires too. It takes carbon dioxide, and it's also release. It takes oxygen and release carbon dioxide. That means it's respire. When they die, they use this available oxygen for decaying of this phytoplankton. For it to decay, it requires dissolved oxygen. And the carbon dioxide it produces during the night, because it does not photosynthesize in the day, in the night, so it takes the available dissolved oxygen and release carbon dioxide. And if the level of carbon dioxide is high, the water will tend to become acidic. That may be the reason why you see fish in the morning trying to take in oxygen from the atmosphere. And that may be the reason why fish are dying like flies. Ammonia can easily change to nitrate and nitrite. Nitrate is much more useful than the nitrite, because phytoplankton utilize this nitrate for growth and development, whereas nitrite is much more dangerous, because it can change the color of the blood from reddish to brownish and become incapable of taking or carrying this dissolved oxygen. The presence of carbon dioxide can be a problem, especially when it is associated with oxygen depletion, but not a problem by itself, because it tends to act as a buffer, balancing acidity and alkalinity of the water. Mechanical aeration not only increases dissolved oxygen in water, but also lower the level of carbon dioxide in the water. Oxygen in water is called dissolved oxygen. Ammonia, hydrogen sulfide are the chemical parameters of water, whereas turbidity, temperature, light are the physical parameters of water. Oxygen requirement of fish are determined by three basic factors: fish species, size of the fish, and water temperatures. There are some fish that move from sea to fresh water to give birth. After them, they go back to the sea. Those fish require much more dissolved oxygen. So also fast swimmers and low swimmers, their demands varies. Water temperature, if the temperature of water is high, the fish will require much more dissolved oxygen to meet its metabolic processes. Hypoxia is oxygen starvation. If your ponds is located above the ground and water is falling into the pond, it may produce more dissolved oxygen. But poor pond maintenance, high stocking density of fish, and unusual climatic conditions can lead to low dissolved oxygen level. Low dissolved oxygen is likely to occur in the dry season as the water becomes warmer. The ability for the water to hold dissolved oxygen tend to become less and less. Due to high temperature. At this time, fish become much more active, leading to a greater demand for oxygen. And the bacteria in the pond and the filters that you have, there are some organisms in that filter, they too respire. So also the submerged green plants and phytoplankton, including algae, they respire. This may lead to a problem, much more problem than you expect in the ponds. The role of submerged plants and algae should perhaps be clarified. During photosynthesis, submerged plants release oxygen into the water, which is why they are often called oxygenating plants. However, as I mentioned, they also respire at the same time, extracting oxygen from the water and excreting carbon dioxide. During the daytime, they produce more oxygen than they consume. But at night, when photosynthesis ceases, respiration continues and they become net oxygen consumers. Common causes of low dissolved oxygen, apart from high fish density, are heavy feeding and a dirty pond or filter. Unfortunately, a dissolved oxygen problem occurs in the early hours of the morning. Application of hydrated lime at the rate of 30 to 50 kg per acre will reduce the carbon dioxide value in the water by precipitation as calcium trioxocarbonate 4. Hydrated lime normally comes in form of a powder. Hydrated lime is formed when calcium oxide is mixed with water. Aeration is a continual process and it should continue up to pass down around 5 p.m. especially when measurements indicate that dissolved oxygen is increasing as a result of photosynthetic activities. The combination of low dissolved oxygen and anthropogenic stressors can increase mortality rate. And also ecological consequences of this low dissolved oxygen can lead to low fish assemblages. Typical clinical signs of low dissolved oxygen are lethargy and a tendency for the fish to gasp at the water surface and congregate around water returns, that's inlet. Many of these signs are the same as for a gill problem. So it is advisable to test for dissolved oxygen in order to make a sound decision on water quality management. If low dissolved oxygen is the problem, that is, DO is less than 5 to 6 part per million, that is 5 to 6 milligram per liter, then additional aeration will help. But it is very essential to determine what caused the problem and to take remedial action. The key to successful management of fish pond is early identification of those ponds that may require supplemental mechanical aeration so as to keep the fish alive. Aeration is initiated when dissolved oxygen concentration fall to a level considered critical, that is 3 to 4 milligram per liter. At 8 milligram per liter, dissolved oxygen is sufficient and glorious to the fish. High rate of respiration in pond with abundant plankton and high density of fish result in rapid loss of dissolved oxygen and accumulation of carbon dioxide over the nighttime hour. Dissolved carbon dioxide concentration of 5 to 10 milligram per liter are common on the dry season, especially in the morning in catfish pond, and it appears to be well tolerated by catfish Clerias garapinos, Clerias angularis, Clerias lazera. They can survive in waters containing up to at least 60 milligram per liter of dissolved carbon dioxide, provided dissolved oxygen concentration are high, more than 7 milligram per liter. Higher concentration of carbon dioxide may cause death, but chronic problems are rare because during the daytime, uptake in photosynthesis normally serves to remove all the carbon dioxide that is produced in overnight respiration. These are the summarized solutions to low dissolved oxygen. 1. Mechanical aeration or manually stirring the water, or pedaling. You use pedal and then stir the water, or you longer the part of the wind on the pond surface. You can also reduce the number of fish, that is reducing the stocking rate or stocking density. Increase the flow of well oxygenated and cooler water, because hot water or hotter water does not hold much dissolved oxygen. The determination of whether water is acid, neutral or base is defined by pH, power of hydrogen. What are these bases? A base is formed when a substance is dissolved in water, especially sodium, calcium, magnesium. Alkalinity measures the total amount of base present, and it indicates a pond's ability to resist large pH changes or the buffering capacity. The most important components of alkalinity are carbonate and bicarbonate. The total alkalinity concentration should be no lower than 20 mg per liter calcium carbonate. You can measure the pH of water with digital pH meters. It has a range from 1 to 14. 7 is neutral. From 1 to 6.9 is acidic. From 7.1 to 14 is alkaline. It is slightly alkaline when it is 6.9 and very acidic between 1 to 3. Alkaline dead point is reached when it is 14. So it is advisable for any fisherman to have at least a pH meter to give you an idea about the acidity and alkalinity of the water. The total alkalinity concentration should not be lower than 2 mg per liter as earlier mentioned in production pond. Pond pH can swing widely during the day, measuring from 6 to 9. When alkalinity concentration are below this level, large daily changes in pH can cause stress, poor growth, and even death of farm aquatic animals. The most aquatic organisms can live in a broad range of alkalinity concentration. The desired total alkalinity level for most aquatic species lies between 50 to 150 mg per liter of calcium carbonate, but no less than 20 mg per liter. Calciums and magnesiums are the most common sources of water hardness. Calcium and magnesium are essential in the biological process of aquatic animals, for example, for bone and scale formation in fish. The critical component of total hardness is the calcium concentration or calcium hardness. Environmental calcium is crucial for osmoregulation. That is maintaining precise level of internal salt for animal heart, muscles, and nerve function. Calcium is also important in molting process of shrimp and other crustaceans. A desirable range would lie between 75 to 200 mg per liter of calcium carbonate. Correction: when a pH is 6.9 is slightly acidic, not slightly alkaline, is slightly acidic, and it is very acidic when it is between 1 to 3 and acidic between 3 to 5, close to 6. Alright, if the alkalinity is low, it indicates even small amount of acidic water can cause harm to the fish. Alkalinity decreases over time through bacterial action. which help in producing acidic compound. In order to increase alkalinity of pond water, mix a compound that raises pH value such as calcium carbonate, limestone, or eggshell. Alternatively, alum can also do. Add small amount to keep it from making the water to become too alkaline, which will create another additional problems to our fish pond. The exact quantity to be added can be determined easily by monitoring the water with pond kit. Coin Pond Master Kit. Its principle is based on coloration. You mix chemical, it will give you certain color. You match the color with the color indicators, and you have your interpretation. Agricultural limestone will not increase pH beyond a maximum of 8.3. The use of hydrated lime, calcium hydroxide, or quick lime, calcium oxide. It is this calcium oxide that reacts with water to give you calcium hydroxide. It's more recommended. It's not recommended. It's not recommended because either of these compounds can cause the pH to rise very rapidly to levels that are harmful to aquatic life. Agricultural gypsum can help to settle turbid water or muddy water by clearing the water. Gypsum improves light penetration, which is critical to phytoplankton growth. These tiny plants absorb most of the toxic nitrogen waste produced by aquatic animals under intensive culture conditions. The effect of agricultural gypsum on water clarity can improve plant growth, primary productivity, and water quality. Similarly, alkalinity has indirect effect on primary productivity. Liming with agricultural limestone increases total alkalinity, augmenting the availability of phosphorus for phytoplankton growth. These phytoplankton are responsible for producing dissolved oxygen and taking away carbon dioxide. Pond fertility is improved and primary productivity of a pond increases, which in turn can lower toxic nitrogen waste and elevate daytime dissolved oxygen concentration. Sources of nitrogen in the water is from the feed that is fed to the fish. Some of these feed have high crude protein content. When leftover feed decompose to produce ammonia. Ammonia is the main source of nitrogen in the water. Attentiveness to hardness and alkalinity concentration with periodic sampling and concentration adjustment. Adding more water when it is when you have high phytoplankton boom, add more water to dilute the concentration of substances formed. Sampling and concentration adjustments are very, very important. Can profoundly affect water quality and overall pond productivity. Thank you for listening. If you like this video, please subscribe, share and like. The main reason why we are producing this I've earlier mentioned, and I will continue to do that with your support. Thank you very much.